Ladies and gentlemen, this is Robertson, also known as Baraban, and welcome back to another episode of TerraFirmaPunk 2.0. And in today's episode, I plan on making a couple of pit kilns with which to cook some clay into useful pottery, with which to eventually melt some copper nuggets into workable metal, and hopefully leave the Stone Age behind and move comfortably into the Copper Age. In order to do this, I first need to harvest some straw from the grass lying around using this stone knife, and I'll probably collect about 16 units of straw. That should be enough for 2 whole pit kilns. I might do a third one later on, but that really depends on whether we've got enough time before it gets dark. I also need wood logs for the pit kiln, so what I'll do is I'll chop down some of these pine trees here and collect them from that. I'm also trying to see if I can get some more sticks from breaking these branches here, and most importantly saplings, because I like to replace all the trees I chop down. You know, just to keep things relatively sustainable. This tree, it seems, is refusing to cooperate and drop any saplings, and I don't have the time to do all the branches, so I'll just chop it down and I'll get some more saplings later on from some of the other trees. Getting those materials I need to get those pit kilns going and getting copper is my main priority right now. I can worry about being environmentally friendly later on. To make the actual pottery, we need to find clay, and thankfully finding it isn't particularly difficult. All you need to do is look for those bright yellow plants out there called goldenrod flowers, because they almost always grow on top of soil that has clay underneath it. In this instance, I think I'll gather the clay that's over here in this hill. It looks as if it'll be slightly easier to get to. What I'll also do is take some of those goldenrod flowers, because apparently I need them for a quest. I think I need about 10 of them, so I'll gather those as well as the clay here. I'll just keep gathering the clay here until this shovel breaks, and hopefully that should be enough. Anything more than 40 units should be okay. $59. That should be perfect. Right, let's head back and get these pit kilns started. Oh, but first I'll make myself another shovel so I can actually dig the pit kilns. That would make sense. Yeah, I'll just close the window before I left click and throw away all my straw. About here looks about right. I'll keep them nice and close to the village. But I don't want to make them too close to each other because, as I found out the hard way, if you have 2 pit kilns within 2 blocks of each other, they just won't work. Anyway, I'll make a clay vessel first, followed by a clay jug, if I can remember the recipe. Yep, there we go. And now a saw. And if I remember correctly, it's diagonally like this, and you've got to make the edge serrated. Here's hoping I don't screw it up. Yay, success. I could have used NEI, but I just can't be bothered looking at it. I also need to make some clay bowls, because I'll need to turn some of them into gold pans, which is an early game method of getting copper nuggets. And that is something that I will demonstrate later on. There we go, 4 should be enough. All that's left now is to create a large vessel that I can use for storage. And now we've got to put these clay moulds inside these pits, ready to be cooked. The smaller moulds can be placed 4 at a time inside these pits, but the large vessel can only fit inside 1, so I'll probably save that one for last. Now that the moulds are inside, we just add the straw. And on top of those, we add the logs. To light the pit kilns, we can either use the fire starter and use that on top of the wood pile like this. Or alternatively, you can just throw a torch in it like this, which is slightly faster and you get those cool particle effects. There we are, 2 pit kilns burning away. And we've still got plenty of time, so I might as well make a start on that third one. I'm cutting this awfully close. It's getting dark, but I want to get this last pit kiln done before I retire for the evening. That should do it. And hopefully by morning, all of those should be done. Whilst I'm waiting, I might as well hand in some of these quests I've completed. Hey, I get some stones as a reward. How generous. I can hear a redcap dying a fiery death in the background there. Oh, blueberries! I'll take those. Cool. I'll take those oranges as well, because this far north, fruit's going to be quite difficult to come by. Ah, right, I can't complete the lumberjack quest because I've used all the wood I did collect for those pit kilns, but that's not a problem. I can always get more later. Ah, it's not letting me take that one because I don't have any space in my inventory. That won't be a problem for long though. Right, it's morning and the pit kilns are finished burning, so I should be able to collect my pottery now. I'll place this large vessel down here because this will now allow me to get rid of these excess items I have in my inventory. As you can see, it doesn't hold as much as a chest, but it is a very useful early game method of storing items. Or even liquids. Oh, danger close. Looks like we've got a red cap incoming. He's not very tough though, so this stone axe should make short work of him. Oh, you've gotta love that dying sound effect. The only thing is, the little bugger broke my axe. Now, we can get back to actually collecting the pottery. Excellent. This clay jug is important because you can do this. It's a musical instrument. Nah, just kidding. You can actually fill it up with water and drink it from that and get your thirst replenished more than you can just by using your hands at a water source. Just like that. I might make a few more later on because these things do have a chance of breaking when they're used. The next thing I need to do is find some copper. You can find native copper nuggets lying around the landscape. It's usually a sign that there is an ore vein deep beneath the ground. Unfortunately, there's not much scattered on the surface and you need a pickaxe to access the proper ore itself inside those veins. But all is not lost, because we can convert this clay bowl here into a gold pan. And we can use that with sand or gravel and a running water block to sift for the individual nuggets. So I'll have a quick look around and see if I can find some gravel. And it looks as if I could be in luck quite early on because there's a lake over here and there is what appears to be gravel at the very bottom of it. And I'll just collect about 6, maybe 7 pieces of that. That should be enough to get started. And to get this to work, I need to dig up this block to create some running water. And now it's just a case of filling up the bowl with this gravel here and using it on the running water to sift through it to see if we can find some usable nuggets. As you can see, I've managed to get one already, so I'll just keep sifting through this and try to see if I can get some more. Unfortunately, this is not the most interesting of things to watch, so I'll pause the recording and start it again once I've got enough copper to actually make some tools. Well, it was a mad dash to get to safety before nightfall, but the good news is I've managed to collect 20 copper nuggets and even a platinum nugget before my gold pan unfortunately broke. It's a little dangerous outside, as you can see, so we'll have to wait until morning before we can continue, but in the meantime, we can hand in some more quests. Meh, I'll take the maple tree, I think. There's no hickory, but hey, what can you do? Yay, more coal. I'm guessing this must be the gift from Santa Claus. Ah, now food. That is actually useful at the moment. Mainly because in this game, if I do not eat a diverse diet, then my overall health will actually decrease. So I need to make sure that I eat grain, dairy, fruit, vegetable, as well as protein, just to make sure that I stay in top condition. Anyway, I'll pause it here for the night, and once it's morning, I will start recording again. Right, we're back at the pits near the village, and what I'll do now is I'll get the ceramic vessel and start putting the native copper nuggets into it. Now I'll just pop it into the pit along with this new mould that I've made, and in a process exactly the same as when I cooked the pottery, I'll just add the straw and then the wooden logs, and once again I'll set fire to the pit kiln. And I missed. Let's try that again, shall we? Cool. And whilst I'm waiting for that to finish, I will go out and collect some of that jute that I spotted earlier, because we will need that for later on to create burlap. I'll have to remember to come back for those pigs later on, because it's always worth farming them for food and hides. You wasco, you wabbit. I'll take some of the native copper that's lying around here as well, but not all of it, because I want to be able to find the vein again in the future. What I'll need to do at some point is make myself an atlas so that I can actually mark this location for future reference. In the meantime, I'll just take this jute back to the village and store it inside the large vessel. The fire in the pit kiln's just gone out, so I'm just going to check to make sure it's okay because it's just started raining. And it looks like it's okay. Liquid copper. Excellent. Right, I'll bring this inside and then I'll start pouring it into the casts. I'll make the copper saw first of all because that's the most important one. I need that to cut the wooden logs into planks so I can make myself a crafting table, which will open up the rest of the crafting grid, and it will also let me build some wooden chests. I'll also make a copper pickaxe because that will let me dig for ore from the ore veins rather than collect it from the surface, and since I saw some nearby, it means I can just dig the copper from that instead, which will be a lot easier and a lot faster. There we go, that's the saw done. And the pickaxe. So we're now well and truly into the Copper Age. I can see the village elder and the other guy staring in amazement.
Do my eyes deceive me? You have made metal!
Well, that looks like a pretty good place to wrap it up for tonight, folks. I've successfully brought the wonders of metalworking to this primitive tribe, so I wonder what adventures are in store for me next time. Anyway, as always, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to like and subscribe, that always helps. And, as always, this is Robertson, signing off.